Hey everyone, just gonna give my review of Warm Bodies. I saw it yesterday. I know I'm a little late on this because it's been out for like 3 weeks now, but I just really wanted to talk about this movie because I was really excited to see this movie. I saw it it was one of the previews during Breaking Down Part 2, and I saw it and I looked at it and I thought, you know what, that would have been a better Twilight. And a lot of people are probably like, you can't compare this to Twilight. And I'm not comparing it to Twilight. I'm saying, had Twilight done something like that, it would have been a lot more enjoyable. And yeah, this movie really was enjoyable, and it was pretty interesting. A lot of people have already pointed out the whole thing of it comes from the perspective of a zombie. And zombie movies never done that before. And you know what? That's true. It's usually zombies are just these dumb brain things you gotta shoot. And in this movie, they're like actually thinking people. They're not really people, but they think, and they can be healed that way. And I don't have a lot of problems with the movie. I guess one major problem is definitely the CGI, but it's by the same people who did Breaking Dawn, and it looks better than Breaking Dawn and all those Twilight movies. The CGI does anyway. It's just, I don't know. One thing they really focused less on is the science of the world they're living in. Because my friend explained this to me. She was like, they were really inconsistent with their talking. Like, one second they could say only one word, but another second they could say a lot of words. And I was like, I think it wasn't really trying to focus on that. They were trying to focus more on other things, like the love story, actually, because it's a love story movie. And there's obviously really one big, huge reference to a really famous love story. If I don't give too much away, but it's really obvious. But they never do say the zombie's real name. He just sticks with his one name. He's got a one-letter name. They call him R. And guess what the girl's name is? It's Julie. So if you can't start connecting the dots now, I guess you just means you haven't read that story. But I haven't read the Warm Bodies book, but this movie would definitely get me interested. Towards the end, it started getting really obvious about what was going to happen. Not the whole thing that they were probably going to get healed. That's a good point to the movie, but I really was thinking this was going to happen right from the beginning, and it did. It was the liar revealed story, and it happened right in the beginning, and I thought, you know what? She's going to get mad at him later, and it kind of does that. She doesn't really get super mad. She says she kind of knew it the whole time. So it's kind of an interesting take on the liar reveal story. She still ends up leaving the guy, the zombie. But I don't know. It's a really interesting movie. If you're into zombie flicks, this is gonna be definitely an interesting one to watch. It felt a lot like, after seeing Zombieland, that's like, I love that. I love Zombieland. And you watch this, it's like there's you can see a lot of connections between the two, and how the zombie film is starting to kind of evolve into, newer territories, doing something new with the genre. Because, zombie movies altogether, that's become one big genre. It's not even horror movies genre anymore. It's like one big zombie genre. But this is definitely a really good, I don't like the makeup on the zombies, because sometimes they look like a zombie, sometimes they don't. I guess they weren't really focusing on that, but it's like, it's the same thing with Twilight. You can't have a pretty vampire. I never think of, pretty vampires or good-looking guy vampires. And you know what? They intentionally try to make the zombie good-looking, at least. The main character, anyway. And, even in the film, they give him a makeover. But I'm not talking about that. I'm saying, in general, the way he looks, they're trying to make him look good looking because they want all the girls to go, oh. It's like, I don't know why they just don't go for a straightforward zombie look. And then, because they gave him a makeover anyway, you're going to make him look different. I don't know, I really did like this movie. I thought there could have been more done, and I thought it was obvious. But, I felt like, well, there's no room for a sequel. Because if there was a sequel, they could open up way more to it. But, I don't think it could open up anymore. I just think they should have done more in this movie. It seemed like this was going to be the big game changer, especially for, it really wasn't a big game changer as much as it was a lot more relaxing to watch after 5-some years of Twilight. That's one big thing I liked about it. It's like, all the Twilight fans are watching this. All the people who hated the Twilight movies, they see this and they're like, you know what? This is relaxing to watch. Especially with beautiful creatures being played in the next theater. Oh my god. I do not want to watch that movie. But yeah, if you're into zombie flicks, if you're into love stories, if you're into Romeo and Juliet, hope I didn't give anything away, or anything like that, you should see this movie. Speaking of the Romeo and Juliet thing, I thought that they were going to make her a zombie. Because you know how they both kill each other in the end, or like kill themselves? I figured she was going to become a zombie. And I thought that would have been an interesting twist. Make her a zombie with him or something like that. But I guess that would have been too much like Twilight when she became a vampire. If anything, it was a lot better than Twilight, but... Yeah, if you haven't checked out this movie, or if you haven't even heard about it, I'd go check it out. It's got pretty good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes right now, so it's got to be somewhat decent. If you're into zombie genre, just go and see it. If you're in a love story, go and see it. And if you're into hating Twilight, go see it. There you go. I'm the Cinephile. Stage name. I'm Justin, and yeah, see ya.